A national team was built not from one country, but from fragments scattered across the entire globe, unifying the impossible dream of approximately 500,000 islanders. The Tubarões Azuis, the Blue Sharks, are a modern footballing miracle. This is the tactical blueprint that united a global diaspora into one impossible national team. To understand the miracle of Cape Verde, you must understand its geography. This is a chain of 10 volcanic islands, an archipelago rising from the deep Atlantic, 570 kilometers off the West African coast. These islands were completely empty until Portuguese colonizers arrived in the mid-15th century. Their entire history is one of struggle and separation. Historically, Cape Verde was a vital stopover point for the massive Portuguese maritime empire, tied directly to the transatlantic slave trade. Even after gaining independence in 1975, less than 50 years ago, the struggle continued. Severe, recurring droughts caused massive famine. Life was so hard that large segments of the population had to leave the islands just to survive. This created a serious problem for football development. The local leagues remained semi-professional, equivalent to a weekend amateur league in Europe. Until 2002, the national team didn't even attempt to qualify for major tournaments. Their history is not long, and their resources are minimal. The only way forward was to look far outside their borders. What few people understood was that the country's biggest strength lay not within the islands, but in their absence. More people of Cape Verdean descent live outside the islands, scattered globally, than the approximate 500,000 citizens who live on the islands themselves. This is the definition of a diaspora, a hidden nation spread across the world. This geographic fragmentation became their unparalleled global talent pipeline. Their national team had to create an intensive system to recruit these players born abroad. It's like a Major League Baseball team recruiting all its players from its farm teams, except the farm teams are scattered across 5 different continents. The players they convinced were often world-class talents, raised and trained in top European academies in countries like France, Portugal, and the Netherlands. The success of the Blue Sharks depended entirely on persuading these talents to choose the land of their parents over the established powerhouses where they were trained. But how do you convince them to leave the luxury of European football for a team whose domestic league is semi-professional? The answer wasn't money or logistics. The first major payoff of this unified talent pool was seismic. In 2013, Cape Verde qualified for the Africa Cup of Nations AFCON, shattering decades of obscurity. This proved their rise was a sustained strategic effort, not a one-off miracle. They repeated the feat a decade later, reaching the quarterfinals of AFCON in both 2013 and 2023. The team, led by central figures like Captain Ryan Mendes, showed the world that tactical discipline and sheer grit could overcome material disadvantages. Mendes has registered 97 appearances for the Blue Sharks and is their all-time top scorer with 22 goals. He is the essential anchor unifying this scattered global talent. But what truly binds them is not strategy. The entire national identity is defined by a melancholic music called Mourner, globally popularized by singer Cesaria Evora. We reveal how this deep-seated cultural emotion is the key to unifying players scattered across 5 continents. If you like watching stories of how impossible dreams turn into tactical realities like this, stick around. We drop new football documentaries every week. The true measure of their climb is not just qualification, it's recognition. After years of sustained performance, Cape Verde achieved an astonishing peak FIFA ranking of 27th in February 2014. This was previously unthinkable for a nation this size. As football journalist Graham Ruthven put it, Cape Verde's qualification would be the World Cup's greatest underdog story since Iceland made it to Russia 2018. That is the magnitude of what they achieved. They built their entire football success model from zero in the last 2 decades. In the ultimate validation of their impossible dream, the Blue Sharks secured qualification for the 2026 World Cup. But the soul of this team is not spreadsheets or scouting reports, it is Sodade. Sodade is not just homesickness, it is a profound feeling of intense longing and nostalgia for a homeland you may have left or one you've barely known. It's the feeling of homesickness for a place you've only heard stories about from your grandparents. This deep Cape Verdean concept, immortalized in the soulful style of Morna music, is the spiritual engine. It fuels the players who return home, transforming scattered individuals into a unified force. While Portuguese is the official language, the street language that truly unifies them on the pitch is Criollo. This shared emotional history is the anchor. Furthermore, the Blue Sharks proved they could absolutely explode on the pitch, recording a stunning 7-1 victory against São Tomé and Príncipe on June 13, 2015 in Praia, showing their true maximum potential. The story of Cape Verde proves that resources are secondary to unity and identity. Their short history is a testament to what a collective will can achieve. They survived pressure, they survived chaos. The dream of the Tubarões Azuis was never about the 5 continents they came from, but the 10 small islands they returned to. Scattered players united their island identity, forcing the football world to realize something important. Cape Verde's impossible dream is now reality. The story is finished.